Большое спасибо, господин посол. Also, I would like to thank the Secretary General for his participation here. And I also would like to greet all my colleagues, ambassadors from countries that are organizing this event, for all of you from the countries that are and were involved in many ways in the sufferings of the Second World War. It is truly a great honor for me to be with you as we commemorate the end of the Second World War, as we commemorate the tens of millions of those who has fallen, who died in fighting for the peace of today. The victims of those countries who are standing behind me, and many other countries who are in today's audience. We should never really forget about it. It was the most devastating conflict of the mankind has ever seen. It was the deadliest world war in history. It impacted every single human being on this planet, though some more than others. And as we stand here together, we pay homage to those who suffered the most. But as today's exhibition says, we definitely remember the long gone war. But do we remember the lessons we had to learn from that war? Our predecessors spared no time and effort, and while battles continued throughout the world, representatives of 50 nations gathered in San Francisco 73 years ago. All participants understood the urgent necessity to agree on better arbitration of international conflicts with a view of sustainable peace. As a result, the principles of the UN Charter were first formulated. The principles according to which the disputes must take place in the conference rooms, not battlefields, and diplomacy and multilateralism must be over bombings and attacks. Those were powerful lessons we learned for our own survival. The failure of sustainable peace efforts after the First World War had taught us another lesson: universality and inclusiveness. We have achieved both on the 24th October 1945, when we established this inclusive platform, and the UN Charter as the universal document came into force. We remember the Second World War not only by account of numbers and horrors. Unfortunately, we also remember the Second World War by the darkest chapter of our history, the Holocaust. The pictures from concentration camps make us remember. The Shoah survivors who come to the UN every year to commemorative events teach us the lesson. The lesson of the necessity to counter hatred, denial, radicalization, extremism, and xenophobia in their origins. The lessons of the need to educate citizens of the world, and most importantly children, not to repeat our mistakes. The lessons of inevitability to engage in genuine and constructive efforts to prevent those horrors, once and for all. Today, we live in the most prosperous times in the history of our planet, with the most inclusive system of global institutions and the most universal set of rules. Based on these achievements, my final appeal can only be the call for our unity. We all have a historic responsibility to maintain peace and security on our planet. Our utmost duty is to learn from lessons of our predecessors to prevent further wars and conflicts. To be successful, we must stand united. We must respect the rules and the litera of international law. Simply because radicalization, extremism, hatred and xenophobia have no respect for these rules, no respect for the human dignity, and no respect for territorial borders. Unity is the only sustainable way of our peaceful efforts through dialogue and multilateralism. And that's why unity is in the very name of this organization. Thank you for your attention, and once again commemorate the victims of all fallen during the most tragic conflict in the history of mankind. Thank you.